As we gather today to celebrate these graduands, we pause and reflect on our place in this world. We begin by acknowledging the Attawandaron people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph now resides. And we offer our respect to their Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Métis neighbors as we strengthen our relationships with them. On this day that marks the end of a journey, we give thanks for friends and family who have walked with us. And we are grateful for the classmates, faculty, staff, mentors, and administration who have supported and led us along the way. I invite you, each in your own way, to take a moment of silence to recognize that for which you are grateful, or to say a prayer. As you graduands leave this university as alumni and embark on a new journey, may the knowledge you gleaned here be coupled with wisdom, and may all of us together contribute to the flourishing of this world. May wonder and compassion motivate us to marvel at and investigate our rapidly changing world, and to enhance the sustainability of all things. May our world resonate with peace. Amen. I invite you to be seated.
Good afternoon. I am delighted to officially open this 2017 University of Guelph Convocation ceremony and welcome everyone here. President Baccarino, members of the board, honorary fellows, faculty and staff, family and friends of the graduates, today, as we celebrate the achievements of our graduating students, I'd like to offer particular welcome to our convocation speaker, Jim Ballantyne, who I will introduce shortly. My name is Martha Billis, and I have the honor of serving as Chancellor here at the University of Guelph. And what an honor it is to be here today, back at my University of Guelph, my alma mater. I think back to when I was in your shoes, proud to be a Mac Institute graduate and anxious to take on the next challenge around the corner. Problem is, we do not always know what is coming or how we're going to get there. Today, I want to instill in you a belief my Dean, Margaret McCready, instilled in me years ago. She was full of advice, but most often said, "Remember, ladies, you are Mac girls, and Mac girls can do anything." And she was right. I stand before you today to proudly and confidently tell you that the education I received here gave me the wherewithal to go out and strive beyond what I thought I was capable of. Since the days of the founding colleges, the University of Guelph has been a leader in practical education focused on the whole person. The university has fostered an environment that encourages its community of students to aim higher, to make things better, to be more productive, to turn preconceived notions on their head, to make a difference, to improve life. My education opened doors and offered windows on the world I could not have imagined. Half a century later, those things are still happening here at this fantastic institution. Graduands, that window is yours. It's waiting, it's your turn. Your turn to make a difference and to improve life for ourselves and for others. I know you can do it because you are, after all, a University of Guelph graduate, and you can do anything. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Franco Vaccarino, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the President and Vice Chancellor of this great university. Well, graduates, it's your big day. You've worked hard, you've persevered, and you've made it. Well done, well deserved. Think fast. Think fast. We've all heard that expression. You don't often hear anyone tell you to think slow. Think slow. But my main message today is twofold: think fast and think slow. As a psychologist, I'm naturally inclined and interested in the cognitive sciences, neurosciences, as well. Speaking as a parent of university-age children, I believe that your minds are actually different from those of your parents' generation. We see how you absorb information, how you interact with and through information technology. Young people are very, very, very good at coping with lots of information and shifting their attention accordingly. Essentially, your brains have adapted to a very fast-paced world. Today, we are navigating a river of knowledge, one that's growing larger and flowing faster all the time. New ideas are coming at us at an absolutely unprecedented pace. New innovations, new ways to connect the dots, new ways to understand this world. We need to process more and more and more information in the same amount of time. We need to think faster. We might call that fast thinking, reactive thinking. It's a kind of tactical thinking. It's what helps a driver negotiate the twists and turns of the road on a moment-to-moment basis. But of course, there's another type of thought, another kind of thinking, reflective thinking or slow thinking. Takes a more strategic view, takes a broader view. Not that I'm suggesting you think more slowly in the literal sense. I'm really talking about a different channel, a different kind of thought, a different way of approaching a problem than tactical or reactive. In our fast-paced world, universities are increasingly important places for both kinds of thinking. Reactive, fast thinking that addresses the now, and there is plenty to address in the now, but also reflective thinking that rises above the here and now to take the long view and consider the broader context, to consider tomorrow or the day after. As University of Guelph students, you've benefited during the past few years from an environment that has challenged your own thinking, an environment that nurtures freedom of thought, expression, of inquiry, an environment that promotes and supports openness to new ideas, one that invites varied perspectives, different perspectives on a problem or on an opportunity. We've tried to encourage you to exercise both reactive as well as reflective thinking. We've stressed the kind of thinking that enables you not just to provide the right answers, but of course also to ask the right questions. We've looked to nurture thinking that is disciplined and thinking that is interdisciplinary, that draws upon diverse experiences, diverse points of view. That kind of thinking is ever more important in a world where the challenges and the opportunities we face are larger and certainly more complex than ever. Now, big problems and big opportunities need lots of minds thinking together on solutions. Not just like minds, but unlike minds. Unlike minds from varied backgrounds, from different perspectives. You know, there's a proverb, one of my favorite proverbs, I think it's an African proverb that goes like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Well, you're about to explore and discover the next phase of your lives, including, I hope, finding ways to improve life for others around you and in that wider world. So go together, think fast, and think slow. Thank you very much.
The University of Guelph awards 2 silver medals from the Governor General each year to 2 graduating students with the highest cumulative average in any undergraduate degree program. Both 2017 recipients are graduates of the College of Biological Science. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you one of the recipients of the Governor General's Silver Medal, Mara McAfee. In her 4 years at the university, Mara has demonstrated outstanding academic achievement. She is graduating with a BSc honors degree in wildlife biology and conservation with a cumulative average of 96%. Mara maintained this level of performance in each semester of her program, earning a grade higher than 90% in 36 of 38 courses and a grade of at least 95% in 26 of those courses. Mara has been recognized by the Department of Integrated Biology on several occasions for her achievements. She was awarded the Monroe Landon Memorial Scholarship for her active engagement in the conservation of native flora and the Stobie Undergraduate Assistantship to carry out research during the summer. These awards were in addition to many other honors, including the College of Biological Science Dean's Scholarship, the University Entrance Scholarship, and the highly prestigious Board of Governors Scholarship. In addition to achieving academic excellence, Mara has been a very active member of the university community, including serving as a tutor to first and second year students, meeting with prospective BSc students at university admission events, and volunteering at the OAC Herbarium, where she has put her strong interests in nature conservation into action. With support from the Stobie Assistantship, Mara carried out research on the role that mutualistic soil fungi play in influencing species diversity in plant communities. She continued this research as a fourth-year thesis student and was awarded the Bryant Family Prize for Best Undergraduate Thesis in the department. Mara's findings were highly novel, and she will be presenting her research to the scientific community at the upcoming annual meeting of the Canadian Botanical Association. As her thesis advisor, I want to note that it was a privilege to work with Mara, and I am very proud that she is aiming to publish her research in a peer-reviewed journal. Madam Chancellor, I am sure you will agree that Mara McAfee is an exemplary student and fully deserving of the Governor General's Silver Medal.
I am pleased to invite Jim Ballantyne, professor in the Department of Integrative Biology, to now give the convocation address. Jim?
Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, sorry, Dean Newman, colleagues, honored guests, graduates. Congratulations to the class of 2017 on the 150th anniversary of the formation of Canada. I'm sure you worked hard for your goals. I will be brief. I was asked to draw on my experiences over my career to speak to you on this special day. I've worked on the physiology and biochemistry of primitive fishes like sharks and their relatives for more than 30 years. Can we learn something from this, from these primitive animals? Sharks represent the oldest jawed vertebrates that exist today. They have been around for at least 400 million years, survived 5 major extinction events. We should be so lucky. They have a couple of things a couple of their characteristics, may have helped them survive these extreme environmental stresses. One of these may be their disease resistance. They may be more disease resistant than most vertebrates, although that hasn't been proven. That may help us in the future. And we, in my lab, are looking at some of those types of things. If we really stretch our imagination, though, we could suggest that since sharks have more senses than most animals, at least 7, including an electro-sensing capability, they may be able to gather more information from their environment. Indeed, they have very large brains compared to other fishes. It can only help when things get stressful if you have lots of information. And I'd like to focus on that for a moment. Information is important. The motto of the University of Guelph is rerum cognoscere causas, translated as to learn the reasons of things. I have always liked that motto, but when I Googled it, I found out that it is a fragment of a longer sentence written by Virgil, the Roman poet Virgil, more than 2,000 years ago. Felix qui potuit rerum cognoscere causas. It is literally translated as, fortunate are they who are able to know the causes of things. I like that even more. They are words that I have lived by. The best thing I can wish for you is that you enjoy understanding things. If you truly understand something and the world you live in, you cannot be manipulated by false news or demagogues. There are other things that biology can teach us that may be useful. One important thing is that diversity helps populations survive when things get tough. Canada has survived for 150 years, and I look out at you now and I can see Canada will be in good shape for the future. Canada has encouraged diversity. Canada is called a tolerant society. Tolerance, though, is not enough. Tolerance can be legislated in or out. In the past few months or weeks even, we have seen how years of progress can be wiped out by the stroke of a pen. We need to deepen our appreciation of our diversity, more than mere tolerance. Tolerance is passive. We need to hype it up a notch. We need to be active in embracing diversity. Instead of saying we tolerate diversity, how about we like diversity, or we enjoy it, or we even love diversity? If a love of diversity is embedded in our society, we will be stronger. Recently, I heard that hate crimes are on the rise in Canada, no doubt encouraged by recent events elsewhere. There is no universe where beating up a Muslim, a black person, or a gay person, or anyone is acceptable. We need to leave behind this primitive behavior. We all need to stand up against it. We cannot be passive in the face of these challenges. Your generation is sometimes called Generation Z. That sounds ominous. Z is the last letter of the alphabet. You are hooked into technology more than any previous generation. I hope you don't become the Borg generation, named after the Borg collective from the TV series Star Trek. They were connected wirelessly to a similar thinking cohort. Sound familiar? We are already seeing the dangers of this trend. If anyone thinks the same, if everyone thinks the same, we are in trouble. Don't let someone tell you how to think. Listen to all sides of arguments before making up your mind. Think for yourselves. Resistance is not futile. The internet is like a vast ecosystem that you can spend a lot of time exploring and get lost in. But there are real, far more complex ecosystems out there that we need to know a lot more about. You need to explore these. We need to understand them better to deal with how they will change. It is your job to protect them. Never has a generation had better resources to solve problems, but never has a generation had a greater problem to solve. We have high expectations of you. I hope we have given you some of the tools you will need to survive and thrive. Keep us in the loop. Let us know how you are doing. I originally wanted to end with the phrase, "May you live in interesting times," thinking I had gone through many interesting times in my career, many changes in biology and social and society. But when I Googled it, I found out that it is thought to be derived from a Chinese curse. We do live in interesting times, but whether that becomes a curse is up to you. I would really like to end by quoting that great advocate of interspecies love, Kermit the Frog, who gave the commencement address at Southampton College in 1996. I'm quoting, "On behalf of frogs, fish, pigs, bears, and all the other species who are lower than you on the food chain, thank you for dedicating your lives to saving our world and our home." Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ballantyne. My name is Jonathan Newman. I'm the Dean of the College of Biological Science. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, today we take a moment to recognize the life of Riley Lynch. I would ask that you award him posthumously the degree of Bachelor of Science honors. Riley was a physics student in his graduating semester. Those who knew Riley will know that he was gifted academically, a true leader in his class, and a very special person. We are so pleased today to be able to recognize Riley's academic accomplishments and the impact that he made on the University of Guelph. Accepting the degree on his behalf is his sister, Emma. And now, graduates, the moment you've all been waiting for. Will the graduating class please rise? Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will the members of the graduating class please be seated? I'm sure you will be excited, perhaps even a little relieved, and certainly happy to see your graduates walk across the stage and be greeted by the president. And you may want to express your emotions in some audible manner, and this is fine. Please go ahead and do that. But we would ask that we hold the general applause until the presentation of all of the degree recipients. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science honors. Kirsten Kimberly Alley. Sarah Emily Armstrong. Emma Cecilia Baird. Madeline M. Beelan. Jordana Simone Bengal. Lindsay Big, with distinction. Christian Joseph Behum. Esty Yell Black. Sarah Boomer. Emily Ann Brooks, with distinction. Matthew Brown. Sarah Victoria Brown. Robert Bryce. Victoria Caitlin Cairns. Andrew Michael Kalea. Patricia Louise Carandang. George Charch, with distinction. Jaskirat Chima, with distinction. Daniel Chamalek. Michael James Clark. Liam Cy Cox. Emily Craig, with distinction. Chloe Cronin. Harkirat Dillon. Musa Diab. Alicia Jane Ann Doan. Leanne Joyce Duncan, with distinction. Matthew Drysdale Dupuy. Brooke Rosella Ezekiel. Tyvon Factor Gaiman. Kelsey Victoria Featherston, with distinction. Lisa Fernandez, with distinction. Tiffany Christine Fernahow. Chelsea Renee Finlater. Stacy Patricia Arlene Forbes, with distinction. Evan J. Foster, with distinction. Juanita Lisa Marie Francis, with distinction. Jessica Lee Freckleton. Michael William Gerald Friesen, with distinction. Gabrielle Bryn Galbraith. Ilana Morgan Geist, with distinction. Christopher James Gilman, with distinction. Taylor Shea Goodwin. Kyle Gordon, with distinction. Sarah Jean Greats. Kelsey Gloria Jean Gunther, with distinction. Adeline Hamilton, with dog. Trina Nellianne Herani. Emily Hertel. Natalie Chantal Hoffman. Jenny Mae Holbein. Sorry about that. Lachey Hood, with distinction. Jessica Lynn Johnston. Jennifer Kao, with distinction. Jared Anthony Christopher Kirk, with distinction. Jenna Kissel. Alexandra Kotwa. Elizabeth Hope Lansing. Sydney Alexandra Lau, with distinction. Emily Victoria Legg, with distinction. Justine Brianna Lizan. Michael Douglas Livingston, with distinction. David A. McDonald. Rachel Elizabeth McDonald, with distinction. Lindsay Margaret Agnes McKinnon, with distinction. Kayla Michelle McNeil. Sarah Ann Magalhaes, with distinction. Caitlin Lee Mahon, with distinction. Connor Evan Martin. Daniela Lee Mason. Jessica Marie Mather, sorry. Kira Ann Maynard, with distinction. Matthew Douglas McBride, with distinction. Callie McConnell, with distinction. Scott Jessica McDonald. Mara Brianne McAfee, with distinction. Bree Ann McMorran, with distinction. Holly Lauren Miller. Joshua Miller, with distinction. Curtis James Morehouse. Hikaru Morishita. Haley Clarice Morton, with distinction. Seika Nadima. Emma Jane Nemi, with distinction. Lois Opuku. Caitlin Danielle O'Reilly. Sarah Andrea Palmitter, with distinction. Graziella Palomo. Nicole Ashley Palvetzian, with distinction. Kiwana Parsinghi. Carly Marion Patrick. Jamie Michael Pereira. Taylor Katie Perkins. Heather Lauren Petrick, with distinction. Michael Robert Funt. Julia Elizabeth Pond. Jessica Eileen Popert, with distinction. Nancy Marianne Poremba, with distinction. Victoria Dawn Rappos. Victoria Catherine Ray. Christy Michelle Rebeck. Jordan Scott Reinders. Sarah Riazi, with distinction. Scott James Ryder, with distinction. Alexandra Radigero. Owen Drew Royal. Sydney Ruler. Jody Marie Rutten, with distinction. Joseph Yukihiro Sakuma. Catherine Joanne Schultz. Brody Richmond Bailey Smith. Michael Sam Solomon, with distinction. Victoria Serbel, with distinction. Alyssa Nicole Mary Stratford, with distinction. Lauren Elizabeth Stitt. Sophia Solange Stoltz. Evan Strom, with distinction. Pamela Kanga. Dina Torles, with distinction. Jessica Ashley Van Dyke. Justine Amanda Kyoko Van Herk. Andrea Isabel Maria Vaz. Karen Begonich. Adrian Lee Wan, with distinction. Courtney White, with distinction. Elisa Joy Wiersma. James Alexander Weigel. Nicole Rose Wildish, with distinction. Emily Warrenchuk, with distinction. Caitlin Marie Yendel, with distinction. Please join me in congratulating these graduates. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science, General. Tasman Elizabeth Duncan. Kelly Megan Fisher, with distinction. Angelique Grattan. Kelly Victoria Hayes. Please join me in congratulating these graduates. Madam Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduands listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduands not present.
Well, graduates, you did it. Congratulations. Well, let me take this opportunity now to welcome all of you to the Griffin alumni family. As you can imagine, this is a growing family. This week, more than 3,400 new graduates are joining University of Guelph alumni, and those alumni now number more than 140,000 around the world. We are all, of course, very proud of your accomplishments here at the University of Guelph and do look forward to seeing how the foundations that you have developed here as a student will continue to support you in the years to come. We want to celebrate your achievements, celebrate your successes, and do hope that you'll all stay in touch over the years. Remember that you're always, always welcome here. Graduates, you've made, I'm sure, many memories here at the university, including today's ceremony. And remember this as well. You are a student for a short time, but you're a Griffin forever. Congratulations. Well done. This concludes our formal convocation ceremony. The College Dean, Dr. Jonathan Newman, who did a terrific job today at the podium, will host a reception for all graduates and their guests in Creelman Hall, right next door here. This really is an opportunity to mingle a bit, congratulate the graduates, and we do hope that you can attend. And now, as tradition calls for, the final word is from our Chancellor.
Convocation is dismissed.
Congratulations, everyone. We know you're going to go out and do amazing things. Please come back, visit often, inspire us with your achievements, maybe at homecoming, maybe alumni weekend, or just when you feel like visiting. We're going to ask a bit of help from you to clear the doors on each side of the front here, with the students going first and the families after. Have a great time with your family, getting lots of photos to remember this day by, and then when you're done, please return your gowns and hoods to the tent. And I'm going to ask you to turn it up one more time. You ready, graduates? As loud as you can. Woo! Take care.